Haunting in Venice is directed by Kenneth Branagh and also stars him as well as Kyle Allen, Camille Cotton, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, Jude Hill, Ellie Khan, Emma Laird, Kelly Riley, Ricardo Scamarcio, and Michelle Yeoh. Tells the story of a celebrated sloth, Hercule Poirot, now retired and living in self-imposed exile in Venice, reluctantly attends a Halloween seance at a decaying haunted palazzo. When one of the guests is murdered, the detective is thrust into a sinister world of shadows and secrets. Hello, you beautiful movie lovers. My name is Louis, aka Movie Fandom, and today we're talking about Haunting in Venice, which is the third and final, I guess, movie in the Hercule Poirot trilogy, based on the book series by Agatha Christie, and in 2017 we got Murder on the Orient Express, and then just last year, Death on the Nile, and now a year later we're getting a Haunting in Venice, which is also a horror movie, even though it is morely a thriller, but it does have horror elements, in my opinion, that does kind of make it a semi-horror movie, if you will. So yeah, I finally watched it just now, and I watched it in IMAX, which, by the way, I would highly recommend seeing it, because it really works with the atmosphere with it. And now I'm gonna give you my thoughts. No spoilers. Spoiler alert, this movie is by far my personal favorite off the entire trilogy. In fact, this is the only one off them that I would say isn't okay. Sorry about that. I'd say this is the only one that is actually kind of good. Maybe because of the horror elements with it working and the atmosphere itself, but the movie is genuinely really good and is by far the best of the entire trilogy. And so, first off, the acting in this movie is great. Of course, we got a great cast in here, and Kenneth Branagh definitely gives the best performance out of this, out of the trilogy that he has given, because he feels like he's going insane, and you really do feel that, and I loved his performance in here. But Michelle Yeoh, who is surprisingly in this movie very shorter than I expected, she is great from the time she has, especially in the seance scene, which she was amazing at. She really brung her A game, and she really brung a lot of horror elements with it. Is it as good as her performance in Everything Everywhere? No. Is it really good? Yes, obviously. Also, the cinematography itself is really great. I love the cinematography in here, and also them shooting in Venice on set just really provides a lot more to this story. My biggest issue with Death on the Nile, the last movie in this franchise, or trilogy, whatever you want to call it, is that you could really tell the green screen. They didn't really shoot on set there, and even if they did, it looked really fake. And even with behind-the-scenes footage, you could definitely see that, and it's very obvious. Here, even if they did, it looks amazing. The backgrounds itself look gorgeous. I loved the lighting in this movie, especially in the supposedly haunted house. It's just look great, and the sights we get of Venice from it, which isn't just showing off like it did in Death on the Nile, it looks beautiful, and the cinematography adds to that. Also, the sound design itself is really great. One of the reasons why I'd recommend to watch this movie in IMAX if you can is for the sound design. It really helps with the horror elements, as well as other scenes in it. It really provides to the atmosphere, and just has a lot going for it, and I loved the sound design. Also, the score is really great, and also adds on it with moments of tension or confusion from characters. It really worked. Also, I gotta say that the horror elements, this isn't really a horror movie per se, but I will say it does have horror elements to make it, for me, at least a horror movie, at least, and they do really work. It does have more of a thriller vibe to it, but I think it really worked with what I was going for. And while I will say the jump scares are the weakest part of the horror in this movie, I will say they are really effective for what they're going for, even though I wasn't personally terrified of them. I will say they did work for what I was going for. If I'd say issue, I say there's some pacing issues with it, and it is kind of predictable. And also, admittedly, I do have some story issues with it, particularly with the writing, with some certain characters, particularly Tina Fey's character, who I will say does give a great performance, and I did like her character, but I wish there was a little more. And also, there's a character who's Poirot's bodyguard, who I also wish we got a little more of. But genuinely, and not mention the twists that we get in here are really great and really surprising, and I love the way they did it. It genuinely kind of makes you think back, and also goes with it, with the characters feeling like they're going insane, particularly with Poirot. If they do make another movie, like a fourth movie, I would say it's unnecessary, but I would like to see what they'd go for. Overall, Hunting in Venice is surprisingly pretty good. I highly recommend this movie, especially if you love murder mysteries and horror, which are two of my favorite genres, to be exact. And I would recommend this movie for fans of Agatha Christie or the other two movies. If so, I think you'd like this, and I would recommend it, especially seeing this in IMAX. Overall, I give A Hunting in Venice a B. So, those are my thoughts on A Hunting in Venice. What did you think about this movie? Did you love it, hate it? Let's agree, disagree down below in the comments. Come and tell me. I don't know what I'll review next. Maybe I'll review, that new Netflix romance movie? I don't know, just see. But yeah, what movies do you want me to review, or TV shows that are coming out soon? What would you like me to review? So, that's it right now. Yeah. Stay awesome.